Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's Russell with Ink and Paper Blog. How are you doing today? I hope you are doing very, very well on this lovely Thursday. It is hot here. It's hot. And I am ready for the weekend. Are you guys ready for the weekend? I bet you are, because it has been one heck of a week. Across the board, I am sure. But I am super excited to bring this video to you guys because I had told you that I was going to make an announcement regarding the second half of the year book club that I'll be running here on my channel. If you're new to my channel, you may not know that in the first half of the year, I ran a book club called the Around the World in 1,000 Pages book club. And every month we read a book from a different continent until we had traveled all 6 continents that had living writers on them. And we are currently in June finishing that book club with A Kiss of a Spider Woman by Manuel Puig, and we will be having that one done by the end of the month. So I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. Did I want to keep running the book club Around the World in 1,000 Pages? Did I want to try something different? I was going through the books on my shelf and I noticed that I had a lot of debut novels on my shelf that I had been meaning to read, that I had picked up in the last year and a half, and I just hadn't started or read yet. So I'm deciding that the new book club that will run July through December is the debut novels we may have missed. So I am super excited about this book club, and I am super excited about all 6 books that I've picked. And I'm going to do something a little different than I did in the last book club, and I'm actually going to announce all 6 books on this video so that you guys can sort of get them started. Either order them from your independent bookstore, from your library, check out your used bookstores, get your copies in advance and get prepared for the 6 books we're going to read. And I'm going to try to mix it up. I'm going to try to do a little bit of everything. So I'm super excited, and I hope you guys are excited to come along for the ride. The first book that we are going to read, and this will be in the month of July, is A Kind of Freedom by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton, and this book was out by Counterpoint Press. This book was also longlisted for the National Book Award, and yeah, I'm so excited about this one. Funny story, I was actually at a signing event for T.R.E. Jones standing behind Margaret Wilkerson Sexton, and I didn't realize it because, you know, yeah. This is a family saga. This novel is told in 3 parts. It starts with Evelyn, who is our matriarch. She grew up in New Orleans from a Creole family during World War II. She's from a rather affluent family, and she falls in love with a man from the wrong side of the tracks. And she has to make that decision between her family and the man that she loves. The second person we follow is her daughter, Jackie. Jackie is a single mother who the father of her child is involved in drugs, and he has been missing, and he returns, and what does that mean? How do you deal with that? The last person we follow is Jackie's son, TC. TC is greatly affected by the Hurricane Katrina, and after that, he becomes involved in the world of growing marijuana, and he becomes very passionate, and he loves this world. And this book, I love, there's a little blurb at the end where it says that, I'm just going to read it to you because, you know, they say it better than I can. For Evelyn, Jim Crow is an ongoing reality, and in its wake, new threats spring up to haunt her descendants. A Kind of Freedom is an urgent novel that explores the legacy of racial disparity in the South through a poignant and redemptive family history. If that doesn't make you want to read A Kind of Freedom by Margaret Wilkerson Sexton, I don't know what will. So yeah, that's going to be our July book, and I hope you guys are excited because look at that cover. So cool. Oops, sorry, knocked the camera. The second book, the one we are going to read in August, is actually the book I've talked about the most on my channel, and that's Sorry to Disrupt the Peace by Yumi Cottrell. I don't know why I haven't read this yet, but I am making it part of the book club, so I will finally read this novel. My friend Joss at Squibbles Reads, this was her favorite read of last year. I have the hardback. I have the paperback, and this is out from McSweeney San Francisco, and this paperback is gorgeous, and and it won the Barnes & Noble Discover Great New Writers Award last year. This is the story of a woman who one day receives a phone call that her adopted brother has committed suicide, and her search into that. Her and her brother are adopted into a family, and I think it deals with family dynamic. It deals with learning to know people that you thought you know. Does that make sense? I've heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book. I follow Patty Yumi Cottrell on both Twitter and Instagram, and I just adore her. And I am super excited to read this book in August. So that's going to be Sorry to Disrupt the Peace by Patty Yumi Cottrell. In my last book club, I got a little flack because you guys know I like a dark, sad book. And people were like, could we read something happy? So I'm here. I'm here to help. And the book we're going to read that I think is my comedy is Standard Deviations by Katherine Heiny. Now, Standard Deviations came out. This is actually the advanced reader's copy, but I'm pretty sure that it is out in both hardback and paperback now. And this is the story of a man and his second wife and their relationship with his first wife. Graham is our husband. He realizes that his first and second wife are very different, and he starts to sort of have a discussion with himself. How does one person love two such different women? Did he make the right choice in leaving his first wife for his second wife? Is there a right choice? And I think the novel has humor. I think it's going to make us laugh, but I also hear it's very poignant. Graham and his second wife, Aubrey, I think, or Audrey. I can't quite remember what her name is. Audra. Graham and Audra are raising a son who has Asperger's. So, you know, there's that sort of family dynamic as well, and how his first wife comes into that and helping with that family. So I've heard nothing but fantastic things about this book that I think went under the radar. So that's Standard Deviations by Katherine Heiny, and this is out by Knopf. Perfect. The next book I'm so excited to get to, and this is the newest book on the list. So we are going to read this in July, August, September, November. No, September, October. This will be our October book, and it has nothing to do with anything October, but this is Disoriental by Negar Djavadi, and this is translated from the French by Tina Cover. This is out by Europa Editions, and you guys, 1, support your independent presses. 2, this cover is phenomenal. 3, I love Europa. And this is the story of a woman, an Iranian woman, who her and her family, her mother and sisters, fled Iran when she was 10. This is a book years later. She is sitting in, I want to say Paris, yes, in a fertility clinic, about to get news that is going to change her life. And she starts to think about her past, her family, her history, her culture, all of those things. I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about this book. I am super excited to get to Disoriental by Negar Djavadi. I was saying it before the video and it rolled off my tongue, so I really apologize about that. But I think this will be a great addition, and I think we're going to have a lot to talk about. I haven't read a lot of literature with an Iranian protagonist, so I am super, super excited about this book. Yes. Okay. Now we're going to go into November, where we are going to read a YA novel. So, I told you, I'm trying to mix it up. And for some reason, I have had Allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson on my shelf forever. I want to say I heard about it on Simon's channel ages ago, and I have wanted to read it ever since. This is the story of Mary. Mary is convicted when she is a minor of being involved in the death of a white baby. She is black, and she is put into what they call in the blurb baby prison. And then at the start of the book, she's been released into a home. She has met a boy that she kind of feels is her savior and is going to sort of change the way her life has gone. But she feels she has to clear her story. She now finally has a reason to come clean. And the reason the book is called Allegedly is because when she tells the story, she'll tell you stuff, and then she'll say, allegedly. So she calls into question her own sort of narrative truthfulness. And I have heard that this book is fantastic, and I am super excited for it. So this is allegedly by Tiffany D. Jackson, and it was published by Katherine Teagan Books, and I am super excited to get to this one. And what are we going to finish the year with? What are we going to read in December but a little bit of science fiction? I really am trying to mix this up, and I have wanted to read this book since it came out, and I don't know why I didn't, and that is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. I'm thinking I'm saying that right. And this is published by Del Rey. This is actually the first in a series of 3. All 3 are out. I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't get you stuck on a series and not let you read the whole thing. This is the story of a young girl who's riding her bike in South Dakota, I believe, and she falls through a hole into the hand of a giant robot. And then years later, she is the lead scientist on the excavation of that robot hand and the research into it. I have heard nothing but great things about this book. I don't read a ton of science fiction, and I am super excited to add this to my repertoire, and I hope you guys are, because this will be our December read, Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. So I hope you guys are excited about the second book club that I'm running on my channel, debut novels that you may have missed. All 6 books announced. I will remind you at the end of every video what's coming next. And until next time, if you are always a return subscriber, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Let's talk. Have you guys read any of these? Are you super excited about any of them? If you are new to my channel, thank you so much. Please subscribe. And as always, until next time, happy reading, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!